One of the most intimidating creatures that lived in Middle-earth during the War of the Ring was the mighty Mumakil, an elephant of tremendous size and monstrous proportions turned into a walking tower of war. In today's episode, we'll take a closer look at these ancient creatures of Far Harad. So the Mumakil lived in the lands of the Haradrim, known as Harad. Though they weren't naturally evil, the Haradrim tamed some of them and took advantage of their massive size, twisting it to serve evil purposes of war. When Sam first saw a Mumakil, we're told that it was bigger than a house, and in Sam's eyes it seemed like a grey moving hill. However, Tolkien says that Sam's fear and wonder might have made the Mumakil appear larger than it was, though it was still immense without a doubt. The Mumakil was a distant ancestor of elephants, and we're told that the like of him does not walk now in Middle-earth. His kin, that live still in latter days, are but memories of his girth and majesty. Now the Mumakil had many uses when it came to warfare, most of these enhanced by their natural characteristics. Their large size allowed them to trample enemies underfoot and push through terrain such as trees. Their tusks were often decorated with bands of gold, and these too could be used as a weapon. Though it's never mentioned in the books, I would assume that changes could be made to their tusks to make them deadlier, such as adding spikes and chains, though this is just my own speculation. Sam also says that he's heard of Mumakil using their trunk to throw trees and rocks, and during the War of the Ring, we see them carrying huge towers on their backs, upon which the Haradrim would ride. Their hide was so thick that it made them immune to arrows, which simply snapped harmlessly upon their body, though their eyes were still vulnerable. It's quite evident that the Mumakil were an incredible enemy to overcome, yet they had one significant weakness, that they were prone to panicking themselves, and so the Haradrim would lose control. Though we're not told what would panic them, I think we can speculate on this by looking at war elephants in history. Historically, these elephants could be panicked by pain, such as injuring their eyes, or fire, or even maybe killing their driver. When panicked, the Mumakil would not differentiate between friend and foe, and would run amok, and this could cause significant damage to its allied forces as it trampled and scattered them. The first time we see a Mumakil is in the Two Towers, after Frodo and Sam are captured by Faramir's company. Here, Sam sees a Mumakil panicking and trampling through the woods, crushing many men underfoot. We're not told what became of this Mumakil, and Sam wonders if it managed to survive and roam the wild for a time, or if it perished far from its home. During the siege of Gondor, the Haradrim brought a great number of Mumakil with them, riding upon the war towers on their back. They were also used to drag weapons such as siege towers and other engines of war. The Mumakil themselves couldn't damage the outer wall of Gondor, since the Númenóreans had built it from an unbreakable black material, such as the one used to build Orthanc. However, one can only imagine what a tremendous impact it would have on the Gondorian morale, seeing these massive beasts lumbering towards them. During the Battle of Pelennor Fields, the riders of Rohan were beginning to turn the tide of the battle as they slew many orcs and Haradrim, though this seemed to turn once again when the Mumakil approached them. The horses of Rohan were afraid to get close to the Mumakil, which allowed the Haradrim and orcs to rally around them, protecting them from the onslaught of the Rohirrim. During the War of the Ring, many areas in Gondor sent men to minister its aid. One such area was Blackroot Vale, who sent 500 archers led by Dúlin and the Rúfin, the sons of their lord. We're told that both his sons were trampled to death by a Mumakil as they tried to lead their archers to fire at its eyes to bring down the beast. Despite their strength and intimidating stature, none of the Mumakil that were brought to the siege of Gondor survived. Before ending this video, there are a couple of points I'd like to make. Firstly, it's possible that when a Mumakil died, it didn't fall to its side, but instead leaned forward upon its feet. We get this information from a poem that Sam recites on Mumakil, which says, "I stamp round and round, never lie on the ground, not even to die." Once again, whether this is an exaggeration is unclear, though I wanted to include it for completion's sake. I also wanted to point out that the Mumakil were clearly inspired by war elephants that were used historically, and while I was researching this video, I thought it would be fitting to read up on war elephants as well, and I came across a bit of information that could very well be plausible for the Mumakil. Historically, the driver of a war elephant would sometimes carry a blade or a poisoned weapon, which they would use to kill the elephant if it had to go berserk. Considering how skilled the Haradrim were at taming and controlling the Mumakil, it would stand to reason that they had a similar contingency plan, though this is just my own speculation. I just think it's a very interesting point to make, and a logical solution to a glaring problem. Anyway friends, this wraps up today's video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'd like to thank our patrons who support this channel, and all of my subscribers. If you can, leave a like, cause it helps this channel immensely, and subscribe to join our fellowship today. I hope to see you all in my next video, where together we can once again explore the magical world and lore of Middle-earth.